जो बड़े हैं इस सेशन में आप पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करोगे तो आपका एक छोटा सा रिक्वायरमेंट ये होगा कि आप बीच में साइड में कुछ भी बात नहीं करेंगे। अगर आप बात करेंगे तो आप यहाँ से हटकर पीछे जाके अपनी बात पूरी करके आएंगे। क्लोज योर आइज। Breathe in and relax. अभी भी कुछ आवाज आ रही है लेफ्ट साइड से, फ्रॉम द बैक as well. जो भी लेफ्ट साइड में बात कर रहा है, one of the volunteers, please ask them to be quiet. राइट साइड से पीछे से भी आवाज आ रही है. I just want you now to take a moment off and just be able to hear your breath and feel your breath and be with your breath for a few seconds. Namo Arihantana Namo Siddhana Namo Ayirna Namo Ochayana Namo Loe Savasahana Eso Panchanamakana Sarva Pavapanasanam Mangalanam Chasavesan Paramam Hari Mangalam. Keep your eyes closed. Right side, somebody is speaking.
Please make it
I want you now to visualize the 11th of this month when you chose to come here for coach. Visualize the process of you coming in to this place, checking into your room, registering yourselves, your session 1, and then all the experiences that you had on day 2, 3 and 4. Came here with the perspective to get something out of this entire experience of coach. And you're on the journey for the last 3 days. Keep your eyes closed, do not open them. For the fact that you've lived about 15, 20 years in this world, or perhaps more than that as well, you now started a quest, a search, to gain answers to some of the questions that have been lingering in your brain for a while. Either they were clear or they were not. Even the question itself was not clear. But with that clear question or unclear question, with splintered energies of various kinds and conflicts in your brain, you came here to gain answers. And perhaps you were expecting a certain minimum quality of answer or depth of answer. You started and you had only one thing against you, which is time. Perhaps for 20 years of questions, you can't get all your answers in 3 days. Or the fact is that you got all your answers because it doesn't take 3 days, it might just take a moment to get all the answers. So really speaking, where you are in your brain is where you are right now in the physicality of this world. But the good news is that among the thousands and thousands of youngsters, you are here in the quest to get your answers, and that is a great job done. Open your eyes, look at me. My name is Rahul Kapoor Jain. Some of you know me and you've done my sessions, some of you have not. For those who do not know me, I'm 42 years of age, I'm married, I have 2 kids, 1 wife.
Whoa!
It's like, ye kya badi baat hai? Just to get a smile on their faces. 20 years. I've spent a lot of my time doing work in the corporate field, cricket, Bollywood, worked with various people like Dr. Abdul Kalam, Sachin Tendulkar, Shah Rukh Khan, but I also have had the pleasure of working with a lot of spiritual gurus of all sects, from from Christians to Hindus to, of course, lots of Jain Acharya Bhagwans. I've spent about 15 years of my life teaching people how to achieve goals, how to make things possible in the corporate world, and I've worked with about 400 organizations, about 60 Fortune 500 companies. So I understand what's success. In the last few years, I've become a fan of Jainism. I understand Jainism. I teach Jainism in some sense. I'm a student, and therefore it's a joy to understand that Jainism is such a hugely impactful religion, such minute details, such amount of clarity. So I'm currently enjoying that process as well. I'm in the scope of situation of my life that I'm trying to use science, psychology, and spirituality, and trying to see from a modern perspective, what is it that Lord Mahavir said once, or perhaps any of the Tirthankars said, and I try and see if I can implement that as much as I can in my own life. So it's interesting that I come here to speak to you because I'm about 42, which is twice of your age for some of you guys. So I have a little experience from that. I also understand Jainism a little bit, so I have an experience of that. I've worked with successful people, and I myself have run 3 companies, 2 charitable trusts. Some of them did well, some of them had to close down. So I understand success and failure as well. I've traveled abroad about 15 countries. I go to US 2 times in a year, 2 quarters that is, and I work there. So I understand what it is to be outside. I work with scientists, psychologists, spiritual gurus, with psychotherapists, with business leaders. So I understand what's happening in the brain there. So it's very interesting that I'm doing this session for you. However, what I am going to be doing now in the next 1 hour or so, maybe 1.5 hours, is not just speaking about my thought process of what I've learned and who I am, and therefore what I want to tell you, but I'm trying to see if I can summarize this entire 3-day session of what you did, what you experienced, and what Mahatmas were trying to speak to you, and what Panditji Maharaj Sahib was trying to explain to you from his perspective. So in some sense, I'll be trying to summarize your 3 days of experience, 3.5 days of experience, and I am not here to articulate my thought processes, but I'm here to try and share with you what were the perspectives that Guru Bhagwan was trying to share with you. Wherever required, when I'm speaking about myself, I will tell you this is my personal view, this is my personal opinion, so that we have clarity from that perspective. We will try and establish a few things so that you have a perspective of the entire program, and wherever required, I want to try and take insights from you, take your questions, clarify your doubts. So when we leave from here, we certainly have some good clarity. Let's get a couple of caveats right. That's point number 1. You can't get all your answers one shot immediately. If that was the case, really was the case, then this building would have just taken a day's time and somebody else come and said, building, boom, the building would have come up. It takes time, it takes process. It takes a lot of effort before something gets built up. If you want to do so, if you want to achieve the state of samatha, even that takes a lot of time, right? So what you have done is you've started your search. This is a coach. This program is called Coach. This is not called Uttar. Yeah, it's a search. And search is amazing. You have to keep yourself in that search all the time. The deeper you go, the more intense it gets. And the more intense it gets, the better you become. Let me explain to you really what's the situation so far in the brain. From what I understand, this is my perspective. And this is the best way to kind of share with you your current state of affairs. There's this mother who tells the kid, better go out, take this 10 rupees, I want you to fill cooking oil in this bottle and come back. So this guy takes this 10 rupees, he goes into the market, he's picking up the bottle, he picks up the oil, he's coming, and as he's coming back, he trips, he falls down, and half the oil from the bottle also falls down. So what happens? This guy picks up the other half, he comes back home and he tells his mother, Mother, look, I was coming and I'm such a horrible kid. I couldn't do a small job. Well, I've dropped half the oil. Mom says, it's okay, it's just oil. He says, no, I mean, look at me, I am incapable. I can't do this job. Mom says, you're being too harsh to yourself. He says, look, this is it. He doesn't even eat his food that day. The next day, the mother asks the second boy to go get 10 rupees of oil, cooking oil. This guy goes, this is a story, anything can happen in a story. So what happens is this guy is coming, and as he's coming, he also trips. And as he trips, guess what happens? Half the oil in the bottle is lost. He picks up the bottle, he's very excited, he comes back home, says, Mom, guess what happened? I was coming and I dropped that oil bottle. The entire oil could have dropped, it could have spilled over, but I managed to save the other half. I've come back home. I love myself. I mean, just look at me. I'm such a resourceful boy. Same story, two opinions. The first boy is negative, the second is. And if I were to ask you at this point in time, what choice should you make? And you will say, but I would say, hold on, not so early, because the mother asked the third child to go. There are only 3 children, so don't worry. So mother asked the third child, you go and you get the bottle and you get the oil and come back. So this boy is going, anything can happen in the story. So as he's going and he's coming back with the oil, guess what happens? He falls down. You see how easy it is for you to predict what's happening? I think he's smart, intelligent boys and girls. And as he falls down, guess what happens to the oil? Half of the oil is spilled. And the other half is picked up. He comes back home and he tells his mom, I was coming and guess what happened? I actually tripped down and I spoiled that. I actually lost half the oil. But mom, what time will you cook your food? Mom says, 12 o'clock. He says, mom, it's 10 o'clock now. Do me a favor, don't start cooking. I have 2 hours. I will go out. I will work hard. I'll earn the money. I'll come back home. I'll fill the bottle with the oil and give it back to you, mom. This boy is not negative. This boy is not positive. This boy is realistic. He understands that this boy, unlike the first one, is not cribbing and complaining. He says, oh, my life is not happening. I don't have clarity. God knows what's going to go on. I have fear. I have difficulty. I have doubts. I have conflicts. Oh my God, my life is horrible. She don't want to be like that. Shh. So, and the second boy, he's like, oh, I'm so cool. I have everything happening for me. Everything is fine. Look at me. I have this and I have that. And we can be like that too. I have education. I have a house. I have parents. I have this and I have that. And my future is secure because my dad has a good job. Whatnot. That's being overconfident. And the third is being realistic, and which is what you guys are. The 130 of you guys or the 40 of you guys who chose to come here, you're not the one who's negative, cribbing and complaining. You're the one who's positive, say, everything is cool. You're realistic. You are here for a search to see if you can be better than who you are. And which is why I think you all deserve a round of applause for the choices you made to be here. Now think about the way you're clapping for your own selves. You did such a great job of coming here. And you did such a bad job of appreciating yourself for the right decision that you took. Now come on, clap and celebrate. Is that your best? Is this the best way to clap? You don't clap, do you? Yeah. What are you hesitating about? Let me just see. Is that the best you can give me? This one, come on, yeah. Build it up. Yeah. Keep it going. A little louder. You see? This is what's happening.